So the beautiful people know who I am. Explain to the people who you are.
All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Elijah Fatal. I'm an independent music artist. I go by the name Fatal Book, and we are live from the Gold Room.
We are live in the Gold Room. I like the energy, brother. How'd you come up with the name?
Fatal Book?
Yes.
So it's like 1,000 different things. So
I got time for 1,000 different things.
I love that. Like I said, my name is Elijah Fatal. And Elijah is a prophet in the book of First Kings in the Bible. And my first tattoo is King on my hand.
Okay.
And then I feel like I've always been doing music, especially when I first started like being serious. All I was doing was just telling stories about how I was feeling.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, Fatal Book. And I also want to, my main mission with music is not to like be like the greatest rapper, the greatest singer. I just want to let my story be known so that other people, and mostly men, can tell their story and be okay with it. So that's why I go by the name Fatal Book, because everything I say is a story. Everything I write is a story. Every song I write is a story. And it goes into my family name, because like I said, my name is Fatal.
Yeah.
But I go by Fatal Book. So when people hear Fatal, they're like, oh, I don't like that. It's like, well, that's why if you connect with me, you feel
I like the name, son. I like
I've had some people say that they don't like it. I had like one person in particular say they don't like it, but I've stuck with Fatal Book. You know what I mean? So I was like, Fatal Book.
You got the Elijah from the book of the Bible.
Exactly.
You got the last name almost tying in right there.
Yeah, it's like a wordplay on the last name. You know what I mean?
I was it safe to assume that your lyrics are very wordy?
Oh man, I got some shit tonight, man. I got some shit tonight.
Okay, who's your musical influences?
My top three are, to go to my generation, Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
You know, I mean, those guys have like some of the biggest influence on me. I've been listening to Drake since he came out with his song Over. This is back in like 2000, I forget, like 2012, I want to say 2008. Okay. I'm probably wrong. Kendrick Lamar and I share the same birthday. And Kendrick Lamar's birthday is June 17th, but that's literally my birthday.
I like Kendrick.
I love Kendrick, man. Good Kid, Mad City is one of the best projects I've ever heard.
I'm a lot older than you, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't look that much older. You probably look like, I'd say like 4 or 5 years older than me.
I'm about to be 42, so.
Oh, shit.
And I grew up on Nas, Wu-Tang, Cannabis. Right. Those are my dudes right there. Big into Wu-Tang, all the members. There's a lot of members in there, but yeah.
Yeah, so I've been doing my research. I realize there's a lot of people in Wu-Tang, man.
Yeah, that's
And even Nas to still be doing what he's doing at such a high level, still selling our shows and shit. It's like, it's very inspirational, because people will say, oh well, you don't make this much, you don't do this much. Like, it was never about the money for me. As long as I can impact people in a space of longevity, then I've done my job. And that's what Nas have done. Wu-Tang, people from your generation, they still listen to these guys, because like that's not only what I grew up on, but that's what influenced me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for me, it's just like I said, in my generation right now, there hasn't been anybody better than Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
people can't hate on Drake too much, because what he added is melody, and there's always copycats. To me, when you keep copycatting, you water shit down, and that's where some of the young kids, I can't feel them all, I won't lie. But Drake is the original source of that melody stuff, bro, and that shit's, you can communicate with a lot of people with that melody, you know what I mean? And Kendrick's a lyricist, straight off the rip, instead of J. Cole. So.
Right, they've always been. I think the best thing about music is just keeping it real to yourself. Kendrick is different because he came from like a storytelling from other people's perspective kind of thing too. Yep. But it's still nice to see because I love him more than just the birthday thing. That's just like a fun fact. Yep. But the fact that he's had such an impact on people that actually put words together and hold stories together and not basically say BS on wax. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, like you said with Drake with the melody. People, Drake is soft and Drake is this, that. You could call Drake whatever we want to be. Drake is the #1 artist of my generation for the last 4 years now. You know what I mean? And it's going to be hard to pass up Drake and as far as influence, quotables. He has one of the best albums, Take Care, in my opinion. One of the best albums, Take Care. And it's going to be hard for anybody to even be like him. So it's like, yo, appreciate what people have done, because it's not easy. Yes. It's not easy. This life is not easy. Getting on this camera is not easy. Setting up the podcast room is not easy. The interview room is not easy. Get up on stage and performing your life out is not easy. So if you're able to do that, you're already going a step above what the normal person in society does in itself. You know
So
what I mean?
I do a lot of production work for Capo and stuff, and I always tell people before they get onto the microphone, that thing right there picks up your life force. You know what I mean? The microphone, the lens, it picks up your life force. It picks up your energy.
Yep.
Those guys that you name, energy. The guys I named before, energy.
Yep.
I think if you can't translate with people with energy, that's where the misconnect comes from. You know what I mean? And people can tell if you're faking the funk. More importantly, the microphone could tell if you're faking the funk.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why it's like, it's for me. It's always been like every lyric I write is like, let me do this for me. Let me tell my story. Let me. Even when I first started doing music seriously, I didn't realize that there was so much uncomfortability in it, because it's not the most. I'm comfortable now because I do like YouTube videos. I had to learn to stare into the camera lens and everything, and it's like it's way more than music. For me, it's right now. It's way more than music. It's about leaving a mark on the earth before my time here is done, and that goes right into the energy part, because it's like you have to know what you're doing music for, who you want to impact.
Yep.
Are you doing it to just make money? Because music is one of the lower industries as far as funds go.
Yes.
I just made a post on Twitter the other day. I was like, music artists are lazy because they want to make money off their career. They want to have people listen to them. They want to write, record, perform. Basically saying we're the real complete opposite of lazy, because this is like the lowest earning industry.
Yes. Yeah.
So
you can
you're
make so
doing
much
all
money
these
doing
things
more.
with the lowest. So it's like, do you really want this? It's like, nah, this is what I do because I know I can do this. I know I can. Everybody can rap. We can sit here and make a rap song right now. There's a whole studio room right there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We can make a rap song right now. What type of song are you making that is going to impact the world so that they're still playing you at the Nas shows, at the Wu-Tang shows, at the Drake shows, at the J. Cole shows?
You're already on fire right now.
You know what I mean? Like, what song am I going to put on when I'm like deep in my feelings, or I'm like high as hell, I don't smoke anymore? Or
Me
like,
neither,
you know what I mean? But like, you know, when I'm turned, or like when we're having a party, like what song can I put on?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's dope. It's definitely.
Listen, how many people do you know personally and maybe mainstream? I have friends that passed away that I still have the recordings, right?
Sorry for the
You
loss.
play it, it unfortunately happens, you know what I mean? But I have songs of them and I forced them. Some of them weren't the greatest rappers, but let's do this song, bro. And they relive. You know what I mean? Every time you hear their voice and their energy, it's like they're reliving. So I love what you're spitting right there, bro, because you're not worried about so much what's happening now on the physical, you know what I mean? Your songs, people can be able to pop them in and be like, yo, Fatal Book Slang? I can feel that motherfucker right here, right now, you know what I mean? What's your creative process?
Creative process?
The beats come first, the lyrics come first, a little bit of both?
Okay, I was going to ask, like, as far as like songwriting, because for me, I'm not gonna make this a long-winded question, but I have to make sure I'm okay first before I get into my creative side. So, okay, short answer. I wake up, I pray, I say thank you Jesus, I make my bed, I journal, exercise, shower, eat, and
That's important, son.
And then I
like
get to my music.
I like that.
So I don't touch my notebook until I do all those things.
Yep.
Maybe journaling can get cut out. But exercise, praying, making my bed, and eating. It could be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If I haven't eaten yet or made my bed, I'm not writing anything.
Okay.
So I'll do that first. Now, when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna lock in and I'm gonna write, because I do my best to write at least 6 to 7 days a week. The topic of the song comes first. Whatever I'm going to be writing about is the very first thing, as far as I'll date whatever the date is.
Right.
And like, I'll make a song right here about how do I feel having interviews and actively pushing my life forward in a way where I want to do what I want to do. So you know how your notebook, the composition notebook, has like the red line for the margin and the top line? So I'll write under the header line, I'll write song about pushing your life forward and being on camera and talking about who you are as a person. And then since it goes down, I'll say everything else, like all the other things I'll talk about, like talk about your writing process, talk about your process of waking up and doing what you do before you writing, and then I'll formulate the song around that. Then I'll find the beat, because I use YouTube.
Okay.
But I have producers on hand too, but I find it quicker to just use YouTube.
It is.
Go to YouTube, I go to beats, I'll find whatever makes my head bump. Like I bump my head, I'm like, alright, cool, that's the beat. Write the beat down in my my notebook, and then I give myself half an hour. So half an hour is to write the song, or at least to get bars off.
Okay.
I think people get so stuck, and I gotta write the best song. A lot of songs I write are just to have a song written, and I can always go back to them.
Yep.
So, not to make it quite long with the question.
Do you, son? Do you?
But like I said, life is first. Life is first.
I like that.
Life is first. And
I like
foremost. I can't do what I want to do in a level that I find acceptable until I do all those things first, and then I'm like, okay, now I can do it to my music. Because once I start the music, it's boom, 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 boom. Okay, all these other things have to happen. So if I'm not okay in my life first, nothing happens.
Yes.
Excuse me. So yeah, definitely life. Then write what I'm going to write about. I got my notebooks in here. I don't go nowhere without my bag, and this bag has like 4 notebooks in it, just full of rhymes and shit.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you obviously don't need them to get up on stage, so you're prepared to possibly write wherever you're at all times.
Definitely. Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I write at the park. I used to, when I first became serious, I was living with my friend and I was sleeping on her couch. Shout out to her, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And I tell her that all the time whenever we talk. We haven't talked in a minute, but I tell her all the time, if it wasn't for you allowing me to stay here, I literally would not be where I'm at right now.
That's dope.
So I used to have to write in the kitchen or in the living room, because that's where I was. It wasn't my part of the house, but it was like, okay.
Yeah, it's your little spot.
It's my little spot in the house right now. Because what I did was I bought the studio equipment. I moved it to the kitchen, so I had everything on the kitchen table. I had a blanket in the walkway and shit. Like I had moving blankets.
So you record yourself?
I recorded myself. The last song on my first EP was recorded in the kitchen.